Good afternoon, students. Welcome back to chemistry class. How are you? I hope all of you fine. Okay, students. Today we are going to study about types of chemical bond. Types of chemical bond. What do you mean by chemical bond? Yesterday we studied clearly about that. The force of attraction takes place between two atoms. The force of attraction takes place between two atoms. The force of attraction takes place between two atoms. This is called chemical bond. How this chemical bond is formed? The chemical bond is formed by transferring or sharing or gaining or losing the valence electron. The chemical bond is formed. What do you mean by valence electron? Already we learnt about that. The electrons present in outermost orbit. Valence electron means the electrons present in outermost orbit. What do you mean by outermost orbit? You know, the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in a circular path. This circular path is known as orbits. Okay, so valence electron means the electrons present in outermost orbit. These are called valence electron. Okay, so how chemical bond is formed? By transferring or sharing or gaining or losing the electrons from the outermost orbit. Why it is losing or sharing? Because of every atom should have stable octet or doublet configuration. Every atom should have stable octet or doublet configuration. Okay. What do you mean by octet configuration or doublet configuration? Octet configuration means every atom should have 8 electrons in their outermost orbit. What do you mean by doublet configuration? Doublet configuration means certain atoms should have 2 electrons in their outermost orbit. This is called doublet configuration. Okay. But in the case of neutral atom, not having the 8 electrons in their outermost orbit except noble gases. Noble gases only having 8 electrons in their outermost orbit except helium. Helium also stable because this is complete doublet configuration. Understood? You know about noble gases. Noble gases are helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. These noble gases have 8 electrons in their outermost orbit except helium. Okay. So all the other atoms try to get stable electronic configuration by transferring or gaining or losing valence electron. Okay. At the same time, the force of attraction takes place between the atoms. That is called chemical bond. Understood, students? I hope all of you understood. Now, today we are going to study about types of chemical bond. Listen carefully. Take notes. Okay, should write in your note whatever topics I take, you should write in your note. Okay, then only you can understood clearly. These all the basic terms. Okay. Okay. Now, what are the types of chemical bond? There are 4 types of chemical bond. You know what are types? Ionic bond, covalent bond, coordinate covalent bond, and then metallic bond. Ionic bond, covalent bond, coordinate covalent bond, and then metallic bond. What do you mean by ionic bond? The ionic bond means the bond formed between the two atoms by complete transfer of valence electron from one atom to other atom. The bond formed between two atoms by complete transfer of valence electron from one atom to other atom. Okay, completely transfer. Okay. Secondly, Covalent bond. What do you mean by covalent bond? The bond formed between the two atoms by mutual sharing of pair of electrons between two atoms. The bond formed between two atoms by mutual sharing of electrons between two atoms. Okay, ionic bond means complete transfer of valence electron. The electrons present in outermost orbit completely transfer to other atom. That time the force of attraction takes place there. That is called ionic bond. Okay, the covalent bond means the bond formed between the two atoms by sharing of pair of electrons. Sharing. Okay, when the two atoms covalently bonded, now these two atoms are mutually shared the pair of electrons. That is called covalent bond. Understood? Then coordinate covalent bond. What do you mean by coordinate covalent bond? The bond formed between the two atoms by the pair of electrons provided entirely by one of the combining atom but shared by both. Here also having the bond formed between the two atoms by sharing, but only one atom share the pair of electrons to the other atom. Okay, coordinate covalent bonds. It is means by the bond formed between the two atoms by sharing. Here also sharing takes place, but the shared pair of electrons, the pair of electrons shared by only one atom. Okay, understood? Covalent bond means the two atoms, both the two atoms are sharing. But coordinate covalent bond means only one atom share the pair of electrons. That is called coordinate covalent bond. Understood the difference between covalent bond and coordinate covalent bond? Okay, you will understand. I will explain with example. Okay. Next, metallic bond. Metallic bond. This is entirely different from the ionic bond, covalent bond and coordinate covalent bond. Okay, because the metallic bond is formed between the positively charged ions and free floating electrons. The positively charged ions and free floating electrons. The ionic bond formed between the metal and non-metals. Metals and non-metals. Covalent bond and coordinate covalent bond formed between the two non-metals. Two non-metallic atoms. Okay. But metallic bond is formed between only metals. Only between metals. Okay. Metallic bond formed between metals. Okay. Whatever metals are there, you know. Sodium, magnesium, copper, iron, these are the metals. Okay, so metallic bond formed between the metals. Okay, ionic bond formed between metals and non-metals. Metal and non-metal. Coordinate and covalent bond is formed between both two non-metals. Okay, understood? Let us discuss about the types of chemical bond with an example. Listen carefully. First upon, ionic bond. What do you mean by ionic bond? You know, ionic bond means the bond formed between the two atoms by complete transfer of valence electron from one atom to other atom. Complete transfer of valence electron from one atom to other atom. Here, what is the types? What is the example? What is the example of ionic bond? Here, the formation of sodium chloride. NaCl means Na means sodium, Cl means chloride. Okay, formation of sodium chloride. Here, you know, sodium is the metal, chlorine is the non-metal. Okay, you know, ionic bond is formed between metals and non-metals. Okay, here sodium. What is the atomic number of sodium? 11. Sodium atomic number 11. So what is the electronic configuration of sodium? How the electrons are occupy initial or in a orbit? First orbit, 2 electrons. We can occupy 2 electrons maximum. Second orbit, 8 electrons. And balance 2,8, 2 plus 8, 10, remaining 1. Okay, how it is occupied? This is the sodium nucleus. First orbit, 2 electrons we can occupy. Second orbit, 8 electrons. And the last orbit, only 1 electrons. Okay. This sodium atom is stable or not? It is not stable. Why? Because only 1 electrons in their outermost orbit. Okay. Sodium atom gets stable by transfer of this 1 electron to other atom. Okay. Sodium atom gets stable by transfer of this 1 valence electron to other atom. Okay. Then only the sodium atom gets stable and it forms sodium ion, cation. Okay, understand? Now sodium neutral atom not stable. Okay, because only 1 electron to the outermost orbit. So it always try to lose this 1 electron. Okay, when it is lose this 1 electron, it becomes stable. Okay, understood? And another one atom, chlorine atom. What is the atomic number of chlorine atom? 17 atomic number. So how much electrons are there? 17 electrons. You know about atomic number of protons or number of electrons. Number of protons or number of electrons. So 17 protons are there and 17 electrons. Okay. So how the electrons are filling in the orbit? First orbit we can occupy 2 electrons maximum. Second orbit 8 electrons. And finally 7 electrons. Okay. How much valence electron there? Here only 7 valence electron. This is the chlorine nucleus. First orbit we can occupy 2 electrons. Second orbit 8 electrons. Last orbit only 7 electrons. Last orbit 7 electrons. Is the chlorine atom stable now? No, it is not stable because it has 7 electrons in their outermost orbit. It should have 8 electrons in their outermost orbit. So now it is not stable. So it is always try to gain any 1 electron with any atom. It is always trying to get 1 electron with any other atoms. It is always try to get 1 electrons to get the stable configuration. Okay, understood? So chlorine atom always try to get 1 electron to the any other atoms. Here sodium atom, sodium atom outermost orbit only 1 electrons are there, and then chlorine atom 7 electrons are there. Okay, so it is not stable now. So it is always try to lose this 1 electron. Sodium atom, chlorine atom try to get 1 electron. Okay, so sodium atom completely transfer this 1 electron to this chlorine atom. Okay, this sodium atom completely transfer this 1 electron to this chlorine atom. When transferring, the force of attraction takes place here. The chlorine atom attracts the very most electronegative atom, so it is always attract the electron towards itself. Okay, so this electrostatic force of attraction takes place here. This electrostatic force of attraction, the chemical bond is formed between them. Chemical bond formed between them. This bond we called as ionic bond. Okay, chlorine atom attain 8 electron in their outermost orbit. Sodium atom also having the 8 electrons in their outermost orbit. Now it transfer this 1 electron. So how much electrons in their outermost orbit? First orbit 2 electrons, and last orbit 8 electrons. It completely transfer the 1 valence electron to the chlorine atom. This is the sodium structure, and chlorine, this is the nucleus. First orbit 2 electrons, second orbit 8 electron, and third orbit, last orbit, how much electrons now? 8 electrons. It becomes sodium, it lost 1 electron and becomes sodium ion, and then chlorine gets 1 electron and becomes chloride ion. Understood? The bond formed between these two atoms, this bond is known as ionic bond. Understood? Okay. Secondly, covalent bond. How the covalent bond is formed? How the covalent bond is formed? What do you mean by covalent bond? Covalent bond is transfer of electrons from the one atom to other atom. Okay. For example, formation of hydrogen fluoride. Formation of hydrogen fluoride. Here the covalent bond is formed between the two non-metals. Here hydrogen and fluorine, all these non-metals. Okay. So hydrogen, what is the atomic number of hydrogen? Only 1. How much electrons are present here? Only 1 electron. Okay. Fluorine, what is the atomic number of fluorine? 9. How it is filling the orbits? 2,7. How much valence electrons are there? Fluorine atom 7 valence electrons. Okay. So these two atoms now unstable. Two atoms are now unstable. Okay. Because hydrogen atom only 1 valence electrons there. Fluorine atom only 7 valence electron there. Okay. So hydrogen atom try to get one more electron from any other atom. Okay. The fluorine atom try to get 1 electron from any other atoms. Okay. For hydrogen only 1 electrons, fluorine 7 electrons. Okay. Now it is not stable. So hydrogen atom get 1 electron from the fluorine atom, get stable doublet configuration. At the same time, the fluorine atom get 1 electron from the hydrogen atom and then get stable octet configuration. Okay, understood? Hydrogen atom only 1 valence electron there. Always try to get 1 electron. So when combining the hydrogen and fluorine, the hydrogen atom get 1 electron from the fluorine atom. So fluorine atom give this 1 electron to this hydrogen atom. At the same time, this hydrogen atom give this electron to this fluorine atom. Okay. So the bond formed, the force of attraction takes place between the hydrogen and the fluorine atom. This force of attraction we called as covalent bond. What do you mean by covalent bond? The bond formed between the two atoms by sharing. Now sharing takes place here. Hydrogen atom share this 1 electron to this fluorine atom. At the same time, the fluorine atom share this 1 electron to this hydrogen atom. Okay, the sharing of pair of electrons between two atoms. The pair of electrons or sharing takes place here now. Okay, understand? So hydrogen atom get 2 electrons in their outermost orbit. At the same time, fluorine get 2 electrons, get 8 electrons in their outermost orbit, and 2 atoms become stable now. The force of attraction takes place between the 2 atoms. This force of attraction we called as covalent bond. Okay, understood? Another one example now. See, about the covalent bond formation of ammonia. Ammonia, what is the formula? NH3. One nitrogen atom combines with other 3 hydrogen atoms. Okay. Nitrogen atom, what's the atomic number of nitrogen? 7. So how the electrons are filled in orbits? To first orbit 2 electrons, second orbit 5 electrons. Hydrogen atom, only 1 electrons. Atomic number 1, only 1 electron here. So only 1 valence electron. Is it stable now, these 2 atoms? No, it is not stable. Okay. How much electron need to get stable for the nitrogen atom? 3 electrons need to get the stable octet configuration. Okay, for the nitrogen atom. For the hydrogen atom, how much electron need? Only 1 electron to get the stable doublet configuration. Okay, understood? So nitrogen, how much valence electron? 5 valence electron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Hydrogen, how much hydrogen atom here? 3 hydrogen atom having here. 1, 2, 3. How this combine? Hydrogen, how you know how much valence electron here for hydrogen atom? 1 valence electron. 1. Each hydrogen atom has 1 valence electron. Okay. Here, each hydrogen atom need 3 electrons. Okay. Each hydrogen atom need 1 electron. Totally 3 electrons need 3 hydrogen atoms. Okay. Hydrogen atom need 3 electrons. Each hydrogen atom need one electrons. Need 3 electrons totally for the hydrogen atom to get the stable duet configuration or doublet configuration. Okay, here, but nitrogen atom need 3 electrons. Nitrogen atom need 3 electrons to get the stable octet configuration. Okay, here, what do you mean by covalent bond? Covalent bond means the bond formed between 2 atoms by sharing of pair of electrons. Sharing of pair of electrons. Here sharing takes place. Wherever sharing takes place? From here, here, here. Okay. Each hydrogen atom share these electrons to the nitrogen atom. 3 hydrogen atoms share their 3 electrons to the nitrogen atom. At the same time, nitrogen atom share its 3 electron to each hydrogen atom. Nitrogen atom share its 3 electrons to each hydrogen atoms. Okay, understood? So mutual sharing takes place here. Okay, understood? This hydrogen atom share this electron to the nitrogen atom. This hydrogen atom share this electron to this nitrogen atom. This hydrogen atom share this electron to this nitrogen atom. Okay, at the same time, this nitrogen atom share this electron to this hydrogen atom, and this electron to this hydrogen atom, and this electron to this hydrogen atom. Okay, so 3 pairs of electrons here sharing. Okay, wow. So 3 covalent bond is formed here. How much covalent bond is formed here? 3 covalent bond is formed. Okay, understood? This is the lone pair of electron. This is bond pair. This is lone pair. Okay, understood? This is about covalent bond. I hope all of you understood. Okay, understood? And then, what do you mean by coordinate covalent bond? What do you mean by coordinate covalent bond? Coordinate covalent bond means the bond formed between the 2 atoms by a pair of electrons provided entirely by one of the combining atom but shared by both. Here bonding takes place between the 2 atoms, but only one atom share the pair of electrons to the other atom. Only one atom share. Okay, the covalent bond, the both two atoms share pair of electrons. But coordinate covalent bond, only one atom share the pair of electrons to the other atom. Okay, for example, formation of ammonium ion, NH4 plus, formation of ammonium ion. How it is formed? Ammonia means the ammonia molecule has nitrogen atom has one lone pair of electron and it combines with one H plus ion. When it is combining, the lone pair of electrons having the nitrogen atom, these lone pair of electrons, nitrogen atom share these two lone pair of electrons to the hydrogen atom. Hydrogen atom has no electrons now. Okay, H plus means no electrons. Okay, electron deficiency here. Okay, no electrons. H plus means no electrons. This is not atom, this is a ion, hydrogen ion. Okay, when ammonia combines with the hydrogen ion, the ammonia, from the ammonia, nitrogen atom donates the two electrons, or nitrogen atom share its two lone pair of electrons to the hydrogen atom. Now hydrogen atom gets stable. Okay, understand? This bond is known as coordinate covalent bond. This bond is known as coordinate covalent bond. Okay, understand? Only one atom donate the pair of electron to the other atom. The coordinate covalent bond is formed, and NH4 plus is formed. Here two types of atoms present here. What are the two types of atom? Donor atom and acceptor atom. Okay, nitrogen is the donor atom, hydrogen is the acceptor atom. Okay, the coordinate covalent bond indicated by the arrow mark. Okay, coordinate covalent bond indicated by the arrow mark. Understand? I hope understood. And then, what do you mean by metallic bond? What do you mean by metallic bond? The metallic bond means the chemical bond formed between positively charged ions and the free floating electrons in a lattice structure of metal. Chemical bond formed between positively charged ions and the free floating electrons in a lattice structure of metal. Understood? Okay, you know metallic bond, it is formed between two metals. Okay, bond between the metals. Ionic bond formed between metal and non-metal. Okay, both metal and non-metal. Covalent bond and coordinate covalent bond formed between two non-metals. But metallic bond formed between metals. Okay, wow. Metallic bond formed between metals. Okay, wow. Here, for example, one of the metal lattice structure. A lattice structure here, sodium metal we are taking. Sodium metal. Okay. Sodium, you know how much atomic number of sodium? 11. Electrons are occupied in the orbit. First orbit 2 electrons, second orbit 8, final only 1 electron. Okay, so first orbit, this is the nucleus. First orbit 2 electrons, second orbit 8 electrons. Finally only 1 electron, you know. But this 1 electron, it is come out from the outermost orbit. This 1 electron come out from the outermost orbit and it is move freely. Okay, last orbit not having the electrons in the sodium crystal lattice. Okay, understand? The metallic bonds, the valence electron of the interactive metal atoms delocalized. the sodium atom, the electrons from the outermost orbit of sodium atom, it is attracted by the another one sodium atom. So electrons are come out from the outermost orbit. So it is freely moved. Okay, freely move along with the crystal lattice. Instead of orbiting their respective metal atoms, they form a sea of electrons floating around the positively charged atomic nuclei of the interacting metal ions. Okay, understood? In metallic bonds, the valence electrons of the interacting metal atoms delocalized takes place. Instead of orbiting their respected metal atoms, for example, this is the outermost orbit of the sodium atom, this electron. Okay, instead of orbiting their own atom, their own respective metal atom, they form a sea of electrons, sea of electrons floating around the positively charged atomic nuclei of the interacting metal ions. Okay, understood? These electrons then moves freely through the space. Here having the space, these electrons then move freely through the space. Okay, the free electrons that are not associated with single atom. Okay, it is independent outer electrons. Understood? These are the metallic bond. Okay, so here no electrons in the outermost orbit not having the any electrons. Clear? Okay, I hope all of you understood clearly. What are the types of chemical bond here? There are 4 types of chemical bond. What are the chemical bonds? Ionic bond, covalent bond, coordinate covalent bond, and metallic bond. Okay, what do you mean by ionic bond? You know. What do you mean by covalent bond? Ionic bond means complete transfer of valence. The bond formed between the two atoms by complete transfer of valence electron from one atom to other atom. Covalent bond means sharing. The bond formed between the two atoms by sharing, mutual sharing of pair of electrons between two atoms. Coordinate covalent bond means here also bond formed between the two atoms by a pair of electrons provided entirely by one of the combining atom but shared by both. Okay, what do you mean metallic bond means? Metallic bond means the bond formed between positively charged ions and the free floating electrons in a lattice structure of metal. Okay, study well. Today assignment. What are the 4 types of chemical bond? First, second, explain, detail about ionic and covalent bond. Explain detail about ionic and covalent bond with an example. All of you should write in your homework, in your note, and take photo and send me through WhatsApp. Some students only daily send, but others not send. Students should write. This is important for your 11th standard syllabus, also having these types of bonds. Study well. Okay, and send me through WhatsApp. Okay, thank you.